aga kshata drushaha hi ahimanyavaha tan drakshanti agakshata drusho hi ahimanyavastan grudra rusha mama kushanti adidhandanetuhu grudra-rusha mama kushanti adidhandanetuhu ye me tanur dvijavaran duhitar madiya bhutani alabdha sharanani cha veda buddhya drakshanti agakshatra disho hi ahimanyavastan grudra rusha mama kashanti adidhandanetuhu ye me tanur dvijavaran duhatir madiya bhutani alabdha sharanani cha veda buddhya drakshanti agakshatra disho hi ahimanyavastan grudra rusha mama kushanti abhidandanetuhu ye which persons may my tanuhu body dvijavaran the best of the brahmanas duhatihi cows madiyaha relating to me bhutani living entities alabdha sharanani defenseless cha and veda buddhya considering as different drakshanti see agha by sin kshata is impaired drushaha whose faculty of judgment he because ahi like a snake manyavaha angry tan those same persons grudraha the vulture like messengers rusha angrily mama my kshanti tear abhidandanetuhu of the superintendent of punishment Yamarāja. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. The brāhmaṇas, the cows and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamarāja, the superintendent of sinful persons. Please repeat the translation. The brāhmaṇas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon these as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamarāja, the superintendent of sinful persons. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The defenseless creatures according to Brahma Samhita are the cows, brāhmaṇas, women, children and old men. Of these five, the brāhmaṇas and cows are especially mentioned in this verse because the Lord is always anxious about the benefit of the brāhmaṇas and the cows and is prayed to do in this way. The Lord especially instructs therefore that no one should be envious of these five, especially the cows and the brāhmaṇas. In some of the Bhagavatam readings, the word duhitihi is used instead of duhatihi, duhitir. But in either case, the meaning is the same. Duhatihi means cow and duhitir can also be used to mean cow because the cow is supposed to be the daughter of the sun god. Just as children are taken care by the parents, women as a class should be taken care by the father, husband or grown-up son. Those who are helpless must be taken care of by their respective guardians. Otherwise, the guardians will be subjected to the punishment of Yamarāja, who is appointed by the Lord to supervise the activities of sinful living creatures. The assistants or messengers of Yamarāja are likened here to vultures, and those who do not execute their respective duties in protecting their wards are compared to serpents. Vultures deal very seriously with serpents, and similarly the messengers will deal very seriously with neglectful guardians. Doesn't Sri Bhaktivedanta? Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord is explaining about the glories of brāhmaṇas, but he is also giving precautions to people who are envious of devotees, brāhmaṇas and Vaishnavas. What will be their status? So first he is saying, Yeme tanur dvijavaran duhati madiya. Yeme tanuhu. They are my body. Tanuhu means my body. Me taniya. Me tanuhu. My body. Who are all? Dvijavaran, the best of the brāhmaṇas, duhitarhi, and cows. Madiya, they are in relationship with me, in my sharira. Bhutani alabdha sharanani cha. And not only these two, other defenseless creatures also. They are all related to me. Beda buddhya, if somebody by differentiative, distinctive mentality, their intelligence is in discriminative mentality, Beda buddhya. Drakshanti agakshata dishohi ahimanyavastan. When they try to see differentiation between the Lord's Sharira and these living entities, because of their sinful reactions. Ahimanyavascha, they are like the angered serpents. Ahi, snake. The snakes are very egoistic. They become very angry very easily. So these people are that like angry, ferocious snakes. Ahimanyavascha. Grudra rusha mama kushanti abhinandanetuhu. And these sinful persons who are like snakes are handled by Grudra. Grudra means vulture, Gadda. Grudra rushaha, they are full of anger. Mama kushanti, they tear apart. Abhidanda netuhu, and they are all the soldiers of Yamarāja, who is superintendent of punishment. So Lord is very, first two lines he is saying, who are very dear, who are very part of him. And the next two lines he is saying, if somebody is trying to harm them, the result of their endeavor. The brāhmaṇas, the cows, dvijavaran, duhitar, and the defenseless creatures, bhutani alabdha sharanani cha, are my own body. Yeme tanuhu madiyaha. They are all my body. They are all part of my body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin, look upon these as distinct from me. Drakshanti agakshatra dashohi beda buddhya. Beda buddhya, when there is discriminative mentality, because of their sinful tendency, they see they are distinct from my sharira. They are just like ferocious serpents, ahimanyavasya. And they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamarāja. Grudra rusha mama kushanti. They are torn apart. The superintendent of sinful persons, abhidanda netuhu. So in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining about the defenseless creature according to Brahma Samhita, 5 categories. The cows, the brāhmaṇas, women, children and old men. The first priority is given in protection to these 5 categories of people. So vultures deal very seriously with serpents, and similarly the messengers will deal very seriously with neglectful guardians. If you read 5th canto, last few chapters which talk about the sinful people and their punishments in hellish planets. 3rd canto it is also there, in the 5th canto also this comes. So Shastras say there are 28 varieties of hell. The hell is a group of all the planets. So each planet will have one speciality. So 28 categories are there. So according to the sinful tendency, they will be placed in one of these 28 hells. So the punishment is accordingly there, they spend time there. So Lord Krishna, he is very dear to the cows and brāhmaṇas, and they are very dear to him. So Bhagavatam, in various places, Prabhupada explains about Krishna's loving affection to these cows and brāhmaṇas. He says, Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the brāhmaṇas and the cows, indicating that human prosperity depends upon more on these 2 items. If human prosperity should grow nicely, these 2 things should be respected. Namely, the Brahmanical culture and cow protection. Lord Krishna is never satisfied where they are lacking. If these 2 things are lacking at any place, Krishna is not satisfied at that place. So, cow protection and Brahmanical culture are 2 things for Vedic society to be prosperous. A society devoid of cow protection and Brahmanical culture is not under the direct protection of the Lord. So, if there is no cow protection and there is no Brahmanical culture, that society is not directly protected by the Lord. Means where these 2 things are there, they are directly under the protection of the Lord. The perfection of human life is attained by following 3 principles of cultivation. If human life has to be perfected, these 3 things should be followed. Protecting the cows, maintaining the Brahmanical culture, and becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. So these 3 things are important for perfection of human life. From the Lord's personal activities, human society should learn how to give protection specifically to the brāhmaṇas and cows. Then the protection of religious principles, fulfillment of aim of life and protection of Vedic knowledge can be achieved. So if these 2 things are done, the 3 side factors which will automatically be achieved are protection to the religious principles, fulfillment of aim of life and protection of Vedic knowledge automatically be achieved. So how the Vedic emphasis is there on protecting brāhmaṇas and cows, Brahmanical culture. It is like a society with this basic consideration. This is primary. Now next, further, in one more place, Krishna also glorifies the same point, how these living entities are part of me. He says in one Bhagavatam verse, the 10th canto, Viprah gavasya vedasya tapas satyam damas samaha. So Vipraha, brāhmaṇas, gavaha, cows, vedasya, Vedas, tapaha, austerity, satyam, truthfulness, damaha, control of the mind, samaha, control of the senses, shraddha, daya, titiksha, shraddha, faith, daya, compassion, titiksa, tolerance, kratavasya, hare tanuhu, and sacrifices or Hares Tanuhu, they are all part of the body of the Lord. So the same point what here Lord is saying. Here he said brāhmaṇas and cows are part of my body and defenseless creatures. And here in another place Bhagavatam is adding many other qualities. All these qualities form the form or the body of the Lord. And they are the paraphernalia for godly cultivation. If you want society to be in the godly mentality, all these principles have to be cultivated. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he gives precautions for devotees and he gives instructions for advancement. Both things he says. One place he says, Asat Sanga Tyagi e Vaishnavachar, Stri Sangi eka asadu Krishna abhaktar. So, if you want to become a good Vaishnava, advanced Vaishnava, Asat Sanga Tyagi, you have to renounce this association of unwanted people. Asat Sanga. They are bad people. Who are these bad people? Stri Sangi, those who are in the mood of sense enjoyment. Eka asadu, asadu then who are non-devotees. Krishna abhaktara, those who are envious devotees. So Vaishnava should avoid these two categories of devotees. Krishna abhakta, Stri Sangi. Because when those who are interested in Bhog Aishwarya, for them spiritual knowledge doesn't go into their head. And if you try to associate with them, we become also contaminated with this Bhog Aishwarya mentality. So this is a precaution. We should not associate with these categories of people. Then further he says, Eta sabachadi ara varnashrama dharma akinchana hanalaya krishnaika sharana. Okay, general principles, what the varnashrama system? They are all for general principles. But finally the destination is everybody have to become Krishnaika Sharana. One has to come to the shelter of Lord Krishna. Surrender completely unto him. That is the final stage. So without hesitation one should take exclusive shelter of Lord Krishna with full confidence. Akinchana hana. Loya Krishnaika Sharana. Giving up all bad association and even neglecting the regulative principles of 4 Varnashrama system. Rise above this Vedic perspective. That is to say, one should abandon all material attachment. Sarva dharman parityatya. The same point. Everything, anything complete materially, completely reject. And become the complete absolute shelter of Lord Krishna. Take shelter. Then, Vidhi dharma chadi bhaje Krishnera charana. So, forget all the regulative principles and worship the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Nishiddha papachara tara kabunahe mana. So when he takes exclusive shelter of Lord Krishna, sinful tendencies will not arise even a thought in his mind. Nishiddha papachara tara kabunahe mana. Nishiddha means which are forbidden. Papachara means activities which are sinful. Tare kabu nahe mana. In his mind, they will never even appear when you have taken absolute shelter of Lord Krishna. Ajnaneva haya yadi papa upastita. In ignorance, by chance, if there is an opportunity that we have engaged in some sinful activity, Krishna tandra shuddha kare na karaye prayaschitta. Krishna will purify him. If by chance, if there is some sinful tendency which arises accidentally or some by chance, that is why the by chance, then Krishna will purify him. Na karaya prayaschitta, he need not undergo any atonement process. Prayaschitta is not required for him because Krishna will purify him. Jnana vairagyadi bhaktira kabunahe anga. The speculative knowledge and renunciation are not essential for devotional service. Not that you attain them to attain bhakti. You attain bhakti, these two will automatically come. They are side benefits of engaging in bhakti. Vairagya vidya, nija bhakti yoga. The symptoms of bhakti yoga are vairagya vidya. Like what is the symptoms of fire? Light and heat. So when you know light and heat means there is fire there. So similarly when you know bhakti yoga means vairagya and vidya, knowledge and detachment are side benefits of that process. Ahimsa, Yama Niyamadi, Bhule, Krishna Bhakta Sangha. So, all this non-violence, control of the mind and senses automatically accompany a devotee of the Lord. Indeed, all good qualities are automatically bestowed in the devotee. He need not endeavor to attain separately for him. Yashyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. So, when bhakti is done in Akinchana, Sarvair Gunaisatra Samasate Suraha. All divine transcendental qualities of demigods are automatically evoked within the devotee. The same point is again explained here. So, devotees need not endeavor to earn anything. Krishna will bless him with all the good qualities. What is Akinchana? That unalloyed devotion service to the Lord. If you are in that mode, then everything will follow for the devotee. Pujanad Vishnu Bhaktanam Purushardasto hi netaraha Teshu tad dveshatah kinchid nasti nashanam atmanah. Pujanad Vishnu Bhaktanam. If you worship those devotees of Lord Vishnu, Purusharda astohi na itaraha. You need not even aspire for this dharma artha kama moksha. What is the Purusharda? People want this dharma artha kama moksha. But by worshipping Vaishnavas, you need not even bother for this all these things of dharma artha kama moksha. That is the goal of life, to worship the service of the Vaishnavas. Teshu tad dveshataha kinchid. If someone envies these devotees, nasti nashanam atmanaha, he is destroying himself. He is committing spiritual suicide, it says. Na asti, for him, nashanam atmanaha, he is completely lost. It is a spiritual suicide if somebody is envious of Vaishnavas. Srimad Bhagavata Archanam Bhagavataha Puja Vider Uttamam. So, in worshipping the deity, worshipping the pure devotee is Uttamam. Jai Shri Radha Govinda ki. Shri Bhagavata Archanam, Shri Bhagavata Archanam, Bhagavataha Puja Vider Uttamam. Worshipping of the devotee is more glorious than worshipping the Supreme Lord. Shri Vishnor Avamana Gurutaram Shri Vaishnava Ullanganam. Offending the Lord to offending the devotee is most severe. Gurutaram Ullanganam. Offending the devotee is more dangerous than offending the Lord. Tirthat Achyuta Padajhat Gurutaram Tirtha Tadiyangrijam. The water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord and the water which has washed the lotus feet of the devotee is more superior. The Charnamrita, or the water which has washed the devotee's feet, is superior to the water that has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. Tasman Nityam Atantrito Bhavasatam Tesham Samaradane. Therefore, knowing this, Nityam, you should regularly endeavor to Atantrito Bhavasatam Tesham Samaradane. You will have to worship Vaishnavas without any reservations. So, this is a shloka which was quoted by Ramanujacharya in Prapannamrita. This is the ending shloka, where he is saying worship of the Vaishnavas is the highest. So, Chaitanya Bhagavata also says about this context, Yata papa haya praja janera himsile tara shataguna haya Vaishnava nindile. If a people torture common people, a sinful man tortures common people, the sin what he accumulates is 100 times more if he offends a Vaishnava. Tara Shataguna Haya Vaishnava Nindile. Just by blaspheming a Vaishnava, torture of common living entities into 100 times is just blaspheming a Vaishnava. That much sin he accumulates. Ye papishta Vaishnavera jati buddhi kare, janma janma adama yonite dubi mare. If we try to say these Vaishnavas are from lower categories or treat them in the bodily concept of life, then for lifetime after lifetime he will be in a lower species of life. He will be degraded in his life. So Padma Puranam says, Shudram va Bhagavad Bhaktanam Nishadamshva pacham tata vikshate jati samanyat sayati narakam dhruvam. If one tries to say he is a Vaishnava from a Chandala, he is from a Shudra, he is from a Nishada, or he is from a Swapacha, he is a Vaishnava with his basic background. If you say Bhagavad Bhaktanam, if you discriminate in their bodily concept of life, vikshate jati samanyat, if you try to see on that birthright or on these basic principles, sayati narakam dhruvam, for he is destined to go to Naraka. Dhruvam means assured. He is confirming his next life in Naraka. If you try to do Vaishnavar Jati Buddhihi. In Dwarka Mahatma it says, Karapatraisya palayante sutivrer yamashashanai. Nindam kurvanti ye papa Vaishnavanam Mahatmanam. When Vaishnavas Mahatmanam or Nindam, when they are blasphemed, Yamashashanai, the people, the kinkaras of Yama, Karapatraisya palayante, their leaves are also like swords. With that leaves they turn apart slices. How many of you done kitchen service? Carrot has to be grated. How do you grate the carrot? Slice, slice, slice. Huh? Like that our body will be minced, it seems. Karapatraisya palayante sutivraihi. You know what is mincing? Mincing is called kaima. Keema. They bake it into small, small bits. So this is called, if somebody offends a Vaishnava, he will become kaima in the hands of Yamarāja's assistants. This is called mincing. Pujito Bhagavan Vishnur Janmantara Shaterapi Prasidati na Vishwatma Vaishnavecha Apamanite. If you apamana to Vaishnava, Vaishnavecha Apamanite, Pujito Bhagavan Vishnu, you may worship Vishnu for Janma Janmantara Shaterapi. For hundreds and thousands of life you may worship Vishnu. But if you offend Vaishnava, Prasidati na Vishwatma, the Lord will never be satisfied. You may worship the Lord for hundreds and thousands of lives. Lord will never be satisfied. Sankirna Yonaya Putaha Ye Bhakta Madhusudane Mlechatulya Kulinaste Yena Bhakta Janardane. So, Ye Bhakta Madhusudane, those who are devotees of Madhusudana, Sankirna Yonayaha Putaha, even though they take birth in the lower families, they become immediately purified. Mlechatulya Kulinaste, those who are in the higher birth, but if they are not devotees of the Lord, they are like Mlechas. Yena Bhakta Janardana, if they are not devotees of Janardana, they are equivalent to uncivilized people. You may take birth in the higher families. Then one more place it says, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Ye Nandanti Hrushikesham Dat Bhaktam Punya Rupinam. So those who offend, Tat Bhaktam, the devotees of the Lord, who are Punya Rupinam, they are personifications of very good people, Punya Rupinam. Shata Janmarjitam Punyam Tesham Nashyati Nishchitam. It is definite, for Punya that has been accumulated for hundreds of years becomes zero. All his pious activities will be zero. Te Pachanti Mahagore Kumbhipake Bhayanake. The next destination is Kumbhipake. Is a hell where roasting happens. In a deep oil fry happens. Kumbhipaka. Mahagore, it is more ferocious it seems. Bhakshitaha Kita Sangena Yavat Chandra Divaukashaha, and he will be eaten by Kitaha. Worms will eat him. After roasting, he becomes a food for insects, Krimikritaka. For how long? Yavat Chandra Tarakam. As long as sun and moon exist and stars exist in the sky. So as long as means, in Brahma's one day, only at the night all these things will withdraw. So one Brahma's whole day, they will be roasted, eaten, roasted, eaten. Shri Vishnu Ravamanat Gurutaram Shri Vaishnava Ullanganam Tadiya Dushaka Janan Na Pashyat Purushadaman. The most severe offense is offending the Vaishnavas than offending Vishnu. Tadiya dushaka jana, those who offend the devotees, those who blaspheme the devotees, na pashyet purushadamam, they are not considered as, they are treated as purushadamam, the lowest of the mankind. Ter shardam vanchaka janai sahavasam na karayet. So, that people you should never associate with. Sahavasam na karayet. You should never associate with that categories of people who are vanchita, who are cheating people. And you should never aspire for their association. Then one more place it says, Janma prabhritti yat kinchit sukrutam samuparjitam nasham ayati tat sarvam pidayet yadi Vaishnavam. If somebody tries to torture a Vaishnava, Janma prabhritti yat kinchit, whatever good qualities we had attained by his birth, Sukrutam samuparjitam, what is pious activities he has earned, samuparjitam, he had earned. Nasham ayati tat sarvam, everything will become destroyed. These are the points which were recorded in the purports. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj quoted all these aspects in Vaishnava Ninda from Chaitanya Bhagavata. So, how Shastras are saying how severe it will be offending a Vaishnavas. So, that's what Lord is saying. What will be their destination? So, one more place in Skanda Purana it says, Yohi Bhagavatam Lokam Upahasam Nrupottama, O my dear king, those who Upahasa, Helana of Bhagavatottama, Karoti Tasya Nashyanti Ardha Dharma Yashashutaha. What and all will get destroyed? Artha, money, Dharma, religious principles, Yashaha, fame, Sutaha, their children, Nindam Kurvanti Ye Muda, Vaishnavana Mahatmanam, Patanti Pitarbi Sardam Maha Raurava Samyate. So there is one more hellish planet called Raurava, where there will be animals called Rurus, where they eat the people who come there. So those who Vaishnava Nindam, the person along with his entire ancestors, he will fall into that Raurava Naraka, where Rurus will eat him left and right. Hanti Nindanti va Dveshti Vaishnavanam Nabhinandati. Hanti, to kill, Dveshti, to envy, Nindanti, to blaspheme, Vaishnavanam na abhinandanti. If you do not encourage Vaishnavas, or if you do not favorably be na abhinandanti, if you do not emphasize, Krudyate yati no harsham darshane patanani tat. Who does not offer obeisances or feels joy upon seeing a Vaishnava certainly falls into a hellish condition. Purvam krutvatu sammanam avajñam kurute tu yaha yah Vaishnavana mahipala sanvayo yati sankshayam. So one who first respects and Vaishnava and then later insults him is vanquished along with his entire family. Initially you glorify, but later you try to offend that Vaishnava, then along with the entire family he will be destroyed. So Vaishnavas, our Acharyas, understanding the situation, so they glorified the Vaishnava. One of the Narasimha Das Thakura song, it says, Thakura Vaishnava Pada. He glorifies in a song, he says, Thakura Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada. So, Susampada means this is the opulence of this material world. What is that opulence of this material world? Thakura Vaishnava Pada, the feet of the devotee is the sampada of this material world. Sunabai Hoiya Ekamana. With one pointed attention, my dear devotees, please listen. Ashraya Loiya Bhaje Tara Krishna Nahe Tyaje. Taking shelter of that lotus feet, engage in devotional service. Krishna will never forlorn you. Krishna will never leave you. Nat Tyaje, Krishna will never leave you. Arasabha Mora Akarshana. And they are free from the cycle of birth and death, and they are never abandoned by the Lord, and they are ever liberated. Arasabha Mora Akarana. Sorry. Vaishnava Charna Jala Prema Bhakti Dite Bola. The water that has fished the Vaishnava's feet is Prema Bhakti Dite Bola. It gives you love of Godhead. Arakeho Nahe Balavanta. And there is no other thing which is more greater than that. Vaishnava Charana Renu Mastaka Bhushana Vinu. The dust of the feet of a devotee is the ornament of the devotees on the forehead. Aranahi bhushanera anta, and I wear no other ornament. There is no other ornament required. The dust of the lotus feet of the devotee is the ornament on my head. Tirtha jala pavitra gune likiyache purane. In all the Puranas, the water which has washed the feet of a Vaishnava is glorified in all the Puranas. Say sabha bhaktira pravasyana. And they all say they are the root cause for love of Godhead and bhakti, devotional service. That water which has washed the devotee's feet. Vaishnavera padodaka samanahe eh sabha. And there is nothing equivalent to the water that has washed the devotee's lotus feet. Yarahoy vanchita purana. And all his desires are fulfilled. That water can fulfill all their desires. Vaishnava Sangete Mana Anandita Anukshana. My mind always hankers to be in the association of the Vaishnavas. Sada Hoye Krishnera Parasanga. In whose context always there will be only Prasanga of Lord Krishna. In Vaishnava association there are only discourses of Lord Krishna, Prasanga. Dina Narottama Kande Hiya Dhairya Nahi Bande. So the poor Narottama is crying, saying that such an unfortunate person. Mora dasa keno haila bhanga. He breaks down and cries, how has this fallen condition come upon me that I am not able to associate with the Vaishnava? See how glorious, how Acharyas are certifying that Vaishnavas, the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas are the greatest ornament. So we have to be very careful when we are dealing with devotee. When we are dealing with anyone as a devotee, when we are dealing with anyone, we have to be very careful. So this is one small story in Vrindavan, in Rupa Goswami period. One day Rupa Goswami was sitting in a rapt meditation. See, these devotees, they are all eternal associates of the Lord. Not that they have to artificially imagine something, they naturally get into the Leela of the Lord, Nitya Leela Sthalas. According to the area where they are meditating, that particular pastime, they get into that meditation. So Rupa Goswami was meditating on one particular aspect and he was fully happy in his heart. That is, all the gopis and Krishna and their personal interactions, this is a pastime. So when he was in a samadhi, a wonderful incident happened. What was that? The gopis were decorating Srimati Radharani, while Krishna stood behind them watching how she is being decorated. So Krishna revealed his presence to the Sakhis. So they all became, it's a festival for them, because whenever, see, why do women decorate? So that their husbands become happy. They want to give happiness to their husbands. So all the intention of the gopis is to decorate nicely so that Krishna becomes happy. For the satisfaction of Krishna. So when Krishna was satisfied, their happiness knew no bounds. But Radharani was unaware that Krishna was personally present there. So they placed a mirror and they started decorating Radharani by various ways. They are putting flowers, decorating her hair in various ways. As she gazed at the beauty of her face, Radharani also saw Krishna's presence there suddenly. And she became very shy and quickly covered her face with the sari. Then gopis started laughing because Krishna was a surprise to her. And as gopis were laughing, Rupa Goswami also started laughing about the incident, about what has happened there. At that particular moment, a Vaishnava came there to meet Rupa Goswami. He is a Vaishnava who had little bodily defection. While he is walking, his body will be like imbalanced in walking because of some bodily defect. The Vaishnava thought, see, this Rupa Goswami, he is laughing at me the way how I am walking. He is trying to criticize my bodily appearance. So he became little disturbed. So such a great devotee, I thought I wanted to take his association. Suddenly he is laughing at my bodily structure because of my deformed body, and he went away there in a disturbed mind. He went to Sanatana Goswami. He wanted to clarify what is the issue. He went and explained the entire scenario, that he went there, Rupa Goswami started laughing at him. Then Sanatana Goswami explained to him that this is not what you are thinking. Rupa Goswami was in meditation. He was enjoying the transcendental pastimes of the gopis, Radharani and Krishna. That's why he was laughing there. He was not even oblivious that you are there, present there. So then this Vaishnava thought, what an offense I had created. I had unnecessarily criticized Rupa Goswami. And he was feeling very bad. I should go back and pay obeisances and beg forgiveness from him. And suddenly Rupa Goswami also felt his meditation broke. He came out of the meditation. Then he thought maybe some Vaishnava has come here. I did not recognize him. I did not appreciate him. That's why I had created an offense. That's why my meditation broke. He thought, let me go and beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava. So he also went to Sanatana Goswami to understand who had come, because he was also not in external consciousness. Who has come, he also doesn't know. So when both of them went to Sanatana Goswami at that particular point, that Vaishnava, immediately he saw Rupa Goswami coming there. He went and paid obeisances. And he said, my dear sir, please forgive me. When I came there, I thought you were laughing at me. I didn't know that you are in deep meditation. And I had offended you by disturbing you from your meditation. From your Nitya Seva, I have brought you back. This is my offense. Please forgive me. Then Rupa Goswami immediately paid obeisances and said, you are a great Vaishnava. That I had not respected you when you have come to my place. That's why my meditation broke. That's why please you forgive me. Seeing the humility of the Goswamis, then all that Vaishnava understood. See, the more you educated, the more you become devotee, the more humble they are. So then all the three people, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami and that Vaishnava, started discussing about that Krishna Katha for a long time. They enjoyed the association. So Vishnama Narahari Chakravarti Thakur explains about this perspective. Oho bhai Vaishnavete sabadana hobe. So be careful when you are in the association of the Vaishnavas. Pranapanakari aparadha kshamaiba. Beg their forgiveness from any offense with your heart and soul. Vaishnavera dosha drushte habe sabadana nirantara kariba Vaishnavera gunagana. Be careful not to offend the Vaishnavas. Always seek their glories. Purva Bhagavata Gana Ekaya Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vijnana Bhujaya. So all the previous great personalities have emphasized we can never understand what is the mood and understanding of a Vaishnava. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Priya Bhakta Dvare Anyera Dilena Shiksha Eita Prakare. The mercy of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach others is through his devotees. Bhakta Pada Padma Dhari Mastaka Upara Bhakti Rasa Sayare Dubaha Nirantara. The dust of the feet of a Vaishnava placed on our head and always derive the nectar of pure devotional service by their association. So such is the glory of association of the Vaishnavas. We have to be very careful. It is a precaution for us not to associate, not to be too much in proximity to offend the Vaishnavas. So if we offend, then our life is gone, spiritual life is gone. So Lord Krishna is emphasizing. So the devotees, the pure Vaishnavas and Dvijottamas and cows, if somebody disrespects them, if somebody tortures them, their destination is hell. So we'll stop here. We'll further continue in the next. Any questions or doubts, please? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।